What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report Weekly News Briefing. I am MK Electric, and it is Sunday, the 11th of April, 2021. I got another packed week of madness. It's madness. Let's just jump right into it. As always, the first link below will take you over to the Patreon post. That's where you can find all these links I'm going to give you. Highly contagious COVID-19 variant now spread to all 50 states. Alarming experts, new wave. Oh my God, we're all going to die. Part 2. Part 10. Well, it isn't now. COVID-19 variants confirmed in California. Third wave will be much worse. Health officials. What did I say months ago? This shit ain't going away, folks. First confirmed case of double mutant COVID variant found. Up in Canada, they're shutting it all down again. How are you going to get all these people back inside? You know, people are getting tired of this shit. State vaccination access opens up. Race against COVID-19 variants. This is, it's all over the place. They're trying to get all the poison into people before the variants take over and kill everybody. COVID nightmare. Vaccine panic as new Brazil variant alters itself to defeat antibodies. What's the name of the movie they came out with? COVID-23, you know? What Songbird? Is that the name of it? Go watch the trailer, folks, because that's right where we're headed. Morgan Freeman says, if you trust me, you'll get the vaccine. For a man who likes to play God, he sure is pushing the devil's agenda. Put a link to that. I lost all respect for you. Child jabs halted as trial. Adult clot link probed. Be advised if you're letting your little kids participate in getting vaccines. You might want to read that article. The Bridge, Michigan reports 246 infected, 3 dead from COVID-19 in Michigan despite being vaccinated. How can that be? I don't know. mRNA vaccines may cause your body to churn out poisons that eat your brain like mad cow disease, says Natural News. A source I trust. More people died. We got a 47-year-old MSNBC legal analyst dead 1 month after the mRNA, and rapper DMX, who I will get into later in this video, passed away. Apparently he had a heart attack. There's some, they're talking about maybe it was a drug overdose, but, I got an article here that says DMX received the COVID vaccine days before his heart attack, so what's the truth? I don't know. It just seems to me that the survivability rate of actually catching COVID is better than, getting the vaccine and whatever. Over to financial news. How major U.S. stock indexes fared on Friday. Let's see what happened with the Dow. I didn't even watch the markets this week. It looks like it rose 297 on Friday. For the week, the Dow was up 647, 34,000 coming next week on the Dow. I predict it. Joe Biden releases $1.52 trillion budget proposal with partisan pork projects. Well, the problem with pork is the parasites. Put a link to that. Jobless claims unexpectedly jumped to 744,000, much worse than expected, but the Dow's at 34,000? All this false reality we're living in. GM to cut production at Michigan plants amid computer chip shortage. Indeed, there's a computer chip shortage going on. A lot of places are having problems. USPS worker savagely beaten. Did you get your stimulus check? Well, these people didn't, and they're pissed off, so they beat the hell out of the mail lady as if it's her fault. Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine emerges as preferred shot for the homeless. If you don't get your stimulus and you wind up homeless, well, the J&J shot is the preferred shot for you. Put a link to that. War on cash, the new world order. The next phase begins, yes. With so much news going on about this and that, it's easy to overlook what's going on with cash. Put a link to that. Bitcoin may be Chinese financial weapon against the United States. I don't know, but here's an article from Yahoo News. JP Morgan, something has gone very wrong in America, and JP Morgan would know. They're behind part of it. California Governor Gavin Newsom announces that someday his state will reopen, maybe until then the catastrophe continues. Speaking of what's wrong in America, put a link to that. I got a couple more. New York offer one-time payment of $15,600 to undocumented immigrants who lost work. Who's paying for this $15,000? And one more. Can blood from young people slow aging? The reason this is in the financial news, well, just ask the people who run this planet. They know all about it. What do you think all this child trafficking shit is about? These people have been trying to live forever for a long time. It's nothing new. Over to New World Order and Police State News. This is where I stop and ask you to share this video because there's important things coming up. This is no doubt the point that gets me fired up the most. Family thrown off Spirit Airlines flight from Orlando, New York because their 2-year-old child was eating without a mask. Be advised, $15,000 I spent $15,000 on this house. Man arrested at Disney Resort, Florida for refusing temperature check. We don't care how much you spent, slave. We need your temperature. Get out. COVID rule breaker dies after excessive punishment. This is over in the Philippines, so I guess it could be worse. Officials use COVID to create statewide vehicle surveillance program run by Rector Systems. I don't know about this, but I do know. I found out recently in Missouri, just a side note, all of the bridges connecting Illinois to Missouri and downtown St. Louis all have license plate readers on them. I was shocked to find that out the other day, but not really. Anyway, I'll put a link to that, just a side note. Poll finds almost half of Americans want vaccine passports. Okay, is this the same poll that says Joe Biden was the most voted for president in American history? It must be. FBI threatens up to 5 years in prison and fines if you fake your COVID vaccine card. Be advised, if it begins, Cornell University will require COVID-19 vaccination, forced vaccines if you want to go to school. What was the other school that did this last week? Rutgers did this. This is going to happen all over the place. And it's not just going to happen with schools. It's going to happen with shopping malls, with anything you want to do in life. You're going to be required to have a pass to get in. You watch, mark my words, I told you this like a year ago. WEF Globalists declares unvaccinated people a threat to humanity. I declare you a threat to humanity. By the way, I lowered my volume on my microphone a little bit. Some people said it was clipping, so please tell me if the audio is a little better when I start screaming. Emergency broadcast. Is everyone aware of this SPARS 2025-2028 document? This is important stuff because if you look at the COVID-19 thing, if you go back and Google something called Event 201, yeah, here, look what's been uncovered here. I'll put a link to this. General Flynn calls for an investigation into SPARS 2025-2028 after Alex Jones' report on John Hopkins' document. That was in 2017. So yes, I fully expect that'll probably be the next thing to happen. YouTube CEO confirms they boost mainstream channels at the expense of indie media once new global censorship rules. Of course, well, she's openly admitted this. Of course we boost authoritative sources because some guy in his basement can just say anything. And I got one more. Biden announces gun control. You think you're going to fight back against all this? Says Second Amendment is not absolute. Second Amendment is not absolute. Oh, I don't know, Joe. Shall not being friends sounds pretty absolute to me. Over to World War III news. U.S. considering sending warships to the Black Sea amid Russia-Ukraine tensions. The Kremlin says it fears full-scale fighting in Ukraine's east. Put a link to this. Vladimir Putin signs law enabling him 2 more terms as I signed law. Who's going to stop me? Put a link to that. U.S. loosens restrictions on Taiwan contracts in defiance of China. That from Al Jazeera. China warns Washington, do not boycott winter. Screw your Winter Olympics. What are you going to do? I ain't going to watch any of it. China is detaining Christians in secret facilities, forcing them to renounce their faith or be tortured. Okay, yeah, we're not going to boycott your Olympics at all. Why is the West so skeptical? Why is this in the... Are you serious? I'll put a link to this. China's secret human hybrid experiments. That's why people are skeptical of China. Who knows what's going on over there with what you're doing. 2 rockets fired, and in other World War III news, 2 rockets fired at Iraqi air base hosting U.S. soldiers. We got 4 Syrian soldiers injured in Israeli aggression over Damascus. Syrian state media report that from RT. A couple more. Pentagon orders new steps to tackle extremism within the ranks. I heard a lot of Marines are saying no to the COVID vaccine. They're trying to make it mandatory. Well, you are their property. Anyway, one more. Fit for president. Kamala Harris gets her own Resolute desk. Who's really in charge? I mean, we all know who it is. Joe can't walk a flight of steps. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news. I got the earthquake set up for 6 points and above for the past week. We had a 6-1 on the 10th, 6-1 on the 10th. Another 6-1, a 6-1 on the 7th, 6-2 on the 5th. Not too much going on with earthquake. I'll put a link to this. We got evacuations going on. The Caribbean island volcano is about to go kaboom. People are evacuating. I'll put a link to that in volcano news. Water spilling into Tampa Bay threatens wildlife and beachgoers. Now, tell me, if you're in Florida, is this the same story? Collapse imminent, Florida phosphate mine leaking millions of... Because it looks like it's in 2 different areas. So it might be 2 different stories. I don't know. Billions of... Be advised, cicada doom coming. Billions of cicadas to emerge in the U.S. for the first time in 17 years. These little things are going to be making a bunch of noise. Be advised, the summertime's going to be noisy. 4 dead whales found in San Francisco Bay in the last 9 days. Wow, I wonder what's going on there. Zero carbon agenda, deconstruction, absolute slavery. Yes, the zero. Well, we all told you this years ago. What was the last thing they tried? Cap and trade? Is that what it was called? Let's see. Photos show Paris becoming a rubbish dump. What street is this? Anybody in Paris that can confirm that Paris is just becoming a rubbish dump? Is this really? Man, that sucks. Possible military explosive devices washes ashore in Florida, back in the U.S. What is this thing? I don't know. Kaboom. We're all dead. Grandpa Joe says planes can go 21,000 miles per hour, making New York and L.A. in 7-minute ride. Yeah. Fall down the steps again, Joe. I think you hit your head. Vatican digs illegal tunnel to exhume King David's DNA and bring Messiah back to life. Good luck with that. And I got one more. Perseverance rover has captured a rainbow on Mars. How is that possible? Over to strange and bizarre news. Biden waves and says thank you to an empty garden. Look, they actually had a mask on the Easter Bunny has a mask. I heard there's also a mask. If you go over to the Navy's Twitter page and look at the eagle, there's a mask on the eagle. That is America falling right there. Anyway, I'll put a link to this. The First Lady, FLOTUS looking like a street girl in a leather trim. Now, if it was Melania, she would rock that shit because she has class. You just look like an old hooker. I'll put a link to that. Hunter Biden says he probably smoked Parmesan cheese jigging for crack in carpets. I'm not making this up. Maybe this guy was smoking crack. Man slams 73-year-old to the ground on Manhattan sidewalk. Why would you do that? I'll put a link to that. Authorities, NFL player killed 5, then himself. What's going on? I don't know. I just want to play football, and they won't let me. Texas man charged with planning to blow up Amazon data center in Virginia. What are you going to accomplish by blowing up a data center? You're not going to stop the internet. Southwest pilot goes balls out, is accused of flashing genitals mid-flight. Okay, frequent flyer miles. Memphis police say woman shoots at drive-thru over wait time. I said, give me my cheeseburger. Put a link to that. We've all been there. Police say excessive wearing of N95 mask contributed to driver passing out and crashing car. Oops. I say ban masks. I mean, they're killing people. Best-selling devotional prayer has helped me to hate white people. What? I'll put a link to this. Speaking of racism, Boston hospital set to offer preferential treatment care based on race. I'm pretty sure you can't do that. I got one more. Alex Jones physically stopped vehicle after witnessing migrant children, and sure enough, that's what was going on. In the name of 1776, I'm stopping this car. For all other news, please check my favorite videos. I've favorited lots of stuff this week. I got a DMX video over there that Jason A made. Definitely, that's coming up in my shout-outs. Morgan Freeman, his message is over there. 82-year-old tackles suspect trying to carjack his car. Shout out to him. Thank you to everybody who puts out news content. I mean, if you check my favorites, there's all kinds of fresh stuff over there. In shout-outs this week, it's pretty packed, so bear with me. Tennessee governor signs constitutional carry bill into law. Shout out to the Tennessee governor for doing that. Shout out to the Arizona governor, signed a bill to preempt federal gun laws. Now, we're all in agreement that there's no fixing this. There's no voting them out. And a lot of us passed that point a long time ago. But I will still applaud the governors when they do something right. So I'll put a link to this. Shout out to if you have not seen this video, you've got to pull it up and check it out. I verified it is a Facebook video, but it should work if you don't have a Facebook account. I pulled it up, signed out, and it worked. This, I'm just going to play a little second of it.
Not a word. Out of this property, immediately out. I don't care what you have to say. Out of this property, you nutties. Out! Gestapo is not allowed here. Immediately, Gestapo is not allowed.
Shout out and all the love in my heart to this pastor for telling these people. They come up in his church on Passover trying to say, well, there's too many people gathered here and people aren't wearing a mask. I will put a link to the video. The most powerful video I've seen during this whole thing. It just left me speechless. Shout out to Shep over at IntelliHub. He's talking about Google's modern book burning. IntelliHub.com needs your help. Definitely one of the people who have helped expose all this shit all these years. Shep at IntelliHub. I love you, brother. Shout out to Jason A, who put together a tribute video for DMX. Jason A has such a way of creating powerful videos. Let me just play a second of this.
Let us pray. I don't ask questions I don't need to know the answer to. Because at the end of the day, I know who I'm going to answer to.
DMX. I can't express it into words. I can't put it into a video. The way you helped me in my life years ago when I really needed to hear your message. I believe DMX was the real thing. Now, whether it was a drug overdose or whether it was the COVID shot, I don't know. Who knows? We'll never know the truth about anything, but you will be missed. Your words touched my heart, and I thank you for that. Anyway, I'll put a link. Awesome tribute, Jason A. Thank you so much. That's all I got for this week, guys. If you like the report, please give me a thumbs up and a thumbs down. If you think it sucked, it's the worst of YouTube. You never want to see it again. Please rate it, though. It helps it move around. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, BitChute, Gab. All my links are always at the bottom. Make sure you're following me everywhere, just in case one source goes down. Or Google Make Hay Electric. I'm everywhere. You can also support me on Patreon. I do this at enormous... It takes me a lot of time to put all this together. and YouTube booted me from the partner program a long time ago. So this is all I'm crowdsource funded, and I appreciate the people who support me. You can also support me directly with PayPal. I definitely appreciate any support. A lot of time and effort goes into these reports, and I do it for you guys so you can be caught up on what's going on in the week in the news, because I know not everybody has the time to, you know, watch the headlines all week. Everybody's busy doing stuff. So I like to put these reports together so you guys have at least a general picture of what's going on in the world. Tell me what you think. What's coming next? You know, more and more forced vaccines. More and more you're not going to be able to participate unless you get the vaccines. More and more gun control coming. I expect another false flag shooting event in a moment. By the way, YouTube took down my last video about the last shooting, but you can still watch it on BitChute. It's over there. So that's all I got for this week, guys. Wow. My head is just ringing, just madness. I'm going to go ahead and get into editing and get this up and out probably before midnight. And you guys take care, stay safe, remain vigilant, be ready for anything at any time. Who knows what's going to happen next, but I will see you on the next one.